Welcome back to Cross-Strait Chronicles. We turn complex cross-strait history into stories you can actually enjoy. Grab a seat, relax, and let's travel back in time, across the strait. Last time, we followed the final years of Puyi, the child emperor who lost an empire, briefly regained a puppet throne, survived war and re-education, and ended his life as an ordinary citizen in Beijing. We saw how the Qing dynasty collapsed, how revolution dismantled imperial rule, and how China stumbled into warlordism, civil war, and foreign invasion. But today we ask, who lit the match that burned down 2,000 years of imperial rule? Who imagined a republic before most Chinese people had even heard the word? Who planted the seed of modern China? Today's episode is about a man who is claimed by two governments, admired by rival parties, criticized by historians, and still quoted in textbooks on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. A man who failed more times than most people apply for jobs, and yet changed China forever. This is the story of Sun Yat-sen. Segment 1. A village boy who looked beyond the horizon. Sun Yat-sen was born in 1866 in Guangdong Province, in a small village called Quiheng. He was not born into power. He was not born into wealth. He was born into rice fields and humidity. If you had met young Sun, you would not have thought, "Ah yes, future father of a republic." You might have thought, "This boy asks too many questions." As a child, Sun watched villagers bow to local officials and burn incense before ancestral tablets. He also watched Western missionaries preach Christianity in nearby towns. Already, two worlds were colliding: traditional Confucian hierarchy and modern Western ideas. Then came the big turning point: Hawaii. His older brother had emigrated there, and young Sun joined him for schooling. In Hawaii, he learned English, read about democracy, and saw something shocking: governments where leaders were not emperors. Mind-blowing, right? While Qing officials back home were memorizing classical texts for civil service exams, Sun was reading about constitutions. Imagine discovering pizza while everyone back home is still arguing about noodles. Segment 2. The doctor who diagnosed an empire son returned to China and later studied medicine in Hong Kong. He trained as a doctor, a respectable profession, stable, practical. But Sun had a problem. He wasn't just diagnosing patients. He was diagnosing the Qing Empire, and in his opinion, the diagnosis was terminal. Corruption, foreign domination, military weakness, peasant poverty. After the humiliations of the Opium Wars and unequal treaties, Qing China was being carved up by foreign powers. Sun concluded patching the system wasn't enough. The entire imperial structure had to go. So what does a young doctor do when he decides to overthrow a 2,000-year-old political tradition? Naturally, he starts a revolution. Segment 3. Professional revolutionary and frequent failure. Sun Yat-sen became what we might call a full-time revolutionary. He organized uprisings. They failed. He raised funds overseas, often unsuccessfully. He plotted rebellions in Guangzhou. They collapsed. If revolutions had loyalty cards, Sun would have earned 10 free attempts by 1900. He traveled constantly: Japan, Southeast Asia, the United States, rallying overseas Chinese communities. These diaspora networks became crucial financial supporters. At one point, the Qing government placed a bounty on his head. In 1896, while in London, Sun was kidnapped by Qing agents and held in the Chinese legation. Yes, kidnapped in London. It sounds like a Victorian spy novel. British newspapers picked up the story, public opinion pressured authorities, and Sun was released. Overnight, he became internationally famous. Sometimes failure is just very dramatic marketing. Segment 4. The 1911 Revolution. Then came 1911. A bomb accidentally exploded in Wuchang, exposing revolutionary cells within the army. What followed became the Xinhai Revolution. Province after province declared independence from the Qing dynasty. Here's the ironic part. Sun wasn't even in China when it started. He was fundraising in the United States. By the time he rushed back, the revolution was already unfolding. In January 1912, Sun Yat-sen was declared provisional president of the new Republic of China. For the first time in over 2 millennia, China was no longer ruled by an emperor. Imagine trying to uninstall a 2,000-year-old operating system and replace it with version 1.0 of Republic. No manual, no tutorial, plenty of bugs. Segment 5. The Compromise with Yuan Shikai. Here's where things get complicated. The Qing court still controlled much of the military through General Yuan Shikai. Sun faced a dilemma: fight a prolonged civil war or compromise? Sun chose compromise. He agreed to step down as provisional president in favor of Yuan Shikai, in exchange for Yuan pressuring the Qing emperor to abdicate. The last emperor abdicated, the dynasty ended. Victory? Well, not exactly. Yuan Shikai soon revealed his own ambitions. He dissolved parliament, suppressed opposition, and even tried to declare himself emperor in 1915. Yes, the man who helped end the monarchy tried to become monarch 2.0. The attempt failed spectacularly, and Yuan died shortly after. China then fragmented into warlord territories. Sun's dream of a unified republic still unfinished. Segment 6. The 3 Principles of the People. If Sun couldn't stabilize China politically, he could at least articulate a vision. He developed the 3 Principles of the People: nationalism, democracy, people's livelihood. Nationalism meant freeing China from foreign domination. Democracy meant constitutional government. People's livelihood aimed at economic fairness, sometimes described as a form of social welfare or land reform. These principles became the ideological foundation of the Kuomintang, KMT. They also later influenced political narratives in Taiwan and mainland China, interpreted differently, emphasized selectively, but never entirely forgotten. Sun wasn't just fighting the Qing, he was trying to design a modern nation-state. That's much harder than toppling a throne. Segment 7. Alliance with Chinese Communist Party. In the early 1920s, Sun made another strategic decision. China remained fragmented under warlords. The KMT was weak. So Sun accepted support from the Soviet Union and formed a united front with the newly established Chinese Communist Party. Yes, the KMT and CCP once cooperated. History loves irony. Sun believed national unity came first. Ideological differences could wait. He reorganized the KMT along Leninist party structures, built a military academy at Whampoa, and prepared for a northern expedition to unify China. But before he could see it through, illness struck. Segment 8. Death Before Completion. Sun Yat-sen died in 1925 in Beijing from cancer. He was only 58. He did not see China unified. He did not see warlords defeated. He did not see the KMTC-CP split into civil war. He did not see the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Nor did he see the Republic of China government relocate to Taiwan. And yet, both governments would later call him the father of the nation. In mainland China, he is honored as a pioneer of revolution. In Taiwan, he is commemorated as the founding father of the Republic of China. Few historical figures are claimed by rivals so completely. Segment 9. The Cross-Strait Legacy. On both sides of the Taiwan Strait, Sun Yat-sen's portrait hangs in ceremonial halls. His mausoleum in Nanjing remains a symbol of early Republican hope. His ideas continue to echo, sometimes invoked sincerely, sometimes strategically. But beyond politics, what makes Sun extraordinary is this. He normalized the idea that China could be a republic. Before Sun, the emperor was seen as inevitable, like gravity. After Sun, monarchy became optional. That mental shift changed everything. Sun Yat-sen was not a flawless hero. He was not a military genius. He was not a master administrator. He failed often. He compromised controversially. He left his revolution incomplete. But he accomplished something profound. He made the fall of empire imaginable and then real. From a village boy in Guangdong to an exiled revolutionary, from a doctor to a provisional president, from repeated failure to lasting legacy, Sun Yat-sen helped redirect the course of Chinese history. Modern China, in all its divided forms, traces part of its political DNA back to him. Now we turn to you. Was Sun Yat-sen primarily an idealist or a pragmatist? Did his compromises help China transition peacefully or create future instability? If he had lived longer, would China's path have been different? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If this video helped make Cross-Strait history a little less confusing, consider giving it a like and subscribing. History is complicated, but learning it doesn't have to be. Next episode, we explore what happened after Sun's death and how his successors transformed his unfinished revolution into something very different. I'll see you in the next episode.